Hello everybody, Matt from Brooks here, and today we're going to take a look at part 1 of my Brooksville International Airport Lego MOC in progress. So stay tuned and see all the fun stuff I've been working on over the last week or so. It's very exciting. Okay, my apologies in advance that I didn't record the audio at the time I did the video. I apparently had my mic off and didn't realize it. But, so I want to give you a perspective at the ground level here first to show you everything and how it looks, and we'll take a look overhead. The idea is that this is very industrial looking. It's a very large space, larger than I had expected. You can see I'm using the girder plates here on the front for some very industrial looking effect here, with some trans clear blue behind them. I will put a brick-built doorway behind, or in that sliding space, to give it an effect of a couple sliding doors, obviously. I think above that airport sign, we still will be on the first floor, but then above that will be a second floor here, and that's where we're going to be putting the ramp over to my monorail station. So that's pretty exciting as well. Moving along here, you can see the facade. I meant it to be a little bit more modern looking. And I think I've achieved that compared to my original style that I built in 2019. It just looks and feels more modern, but using the girder pieces is something I had wanted to do for a build. I'm very happy with how that came out. So I also used a major Technic piece as kind of the inspiration for this entire build. So I'm going to be turning this around as well to show you. But the idea is I'm going to be putting a sliding door there, as I noted. Again, doing this after the fact of recording the video here, but the grill pieces, I think, make it look pretty neat there. I have the overhead girders hanging there over the roadway to kind of imply an awning of sorts over the departures and arrivals roadway. So I think that's going to be nice. Again, that's going to be the central core of ramp, elevated walkway over to the monorail termination point, that station, which will make this a true airport shuttle. I'm very excited about that. A lot of this is still, again, a work in progress. I don't know where everything's going to be going. A lot of this can still change. But that's kind of the thinking right now for how the front's going to look. Alright, now taking a look at the side, I want to point out the main inspiration were these Technic panel pieces. These are a 5 by 11 by 1 panel piece that's Lego Technic. It doesn't quite match up with Lego System. You can see there that I did do a bit of a funky thing that I kind of transition it from Technic to Lego System. I was thinking kind of try to transition it so I could build it up to a second floor. Those are just little round stud pieces I have in there. I did also want to break this up a bit from just the flat look of it, even though it looks really nice. So I did build in this little doorway, as well as the baggage claim area here on the outside for bags to be exchanged in and out. That's what you can see coming into frame there. And the idea of this design really was to make it look very industrial. These panels give it that look. That's large pieces or sections of wall that were lowered into place to create this structure. So it feels right to me. Again, you can see I'm showing where the baggage claim is there. The idea is that this kind of does keep going down into the wall. That's a access doorway for crew. And then the panels, of course, again, both sides, just give it that nice look and feel. I'll go ahead and take you around to the other side here as well. Alrighty, now on the other side here, this will be facing the parking garage section. I put more panels up here, as you can see I'm pointing out. But I didn't want to have this to be 100% just like the other side. I do transition it from the panels to a more system building style. And I have a reason for that, as I'll show you here coming up. You can see coming to frame here, I've got a road plate here, which is actually going to be kind of a taxi stand, and then the parking garage will be next to that. One of the things I'm most proud of here, though, as you can see I'm pointing out, this is a rotating doorway underneath that whole blocky section there. I'm thrilled with how that came out. I love playing with that doorway. It can fit a minifigure on there, just barely, and it can spin with a figure in place. That will be a taxi stand entryway and exit, because I will have a taxi sitting there for taking guests away from the airport, or dropping them off hypothetically too, so it doesn't clog up the main roadway there as I'm pointing out. But the idea is that I just want to transition it from system, or from the Technic to the system, so I can do stuff like this and make it look a little bit more proper at the front entrance than I did previously. Plus, have more room to build some stuff inside, which I'm looking forward to talking about as I switch to the overhead view here momentarily. We'll take a look. Okay, so now we're taking a look at the overhead view of the airport as I use on my live streams in this nice wide overhead cam here. And I thought that this would be the best way to give you a perspective of everything that I'm going to show off here as to my plans for the interior of the airport. There's a lot here. What I'm looking at when I'm putting out here is the fact that these panels are really cool and they feel very industrial, even on the inside as well. That's why I was really happy to build with these guys. And part of what I was doing too is I wanted to create a secondary structure here that I'm showing, which will actually create the foundation for the actual support structure for the second floor. So that kind of lets me be a little bit more free as I go along here to kind of create even more of the Technic panel structure for the second floor, which I think will just unify the look even more. So I'm looking forward to that. Now, as I go over here, you can see I'm pointing out different sections here. I still don't know exactly how the second floor is going to be built yet. I'm probably going to be changing up some of what I've already got in place here. Mind you, this is all subject to change as I go. This is just part one review. The idea is that I do want to put a lot of stuff inside this first floor. I think I've got a lot more space than I expected to do that. And I'm looking forward to using my detailing expertise as I've built it up here to do a lot of these kind of things. And in the video here, I'm going to start kind of pointing out areas, and I want to talk about what I'm thinking for each of these sections here. Again, reminder, I want to have a shuttle walkway overhead there, above where I'm pointing out the doorway. That's going to be right there. That's going to be the pathway to the monorail station in and out. The airport shuttle, wink wink. So because of that, I do have to have some kind of stairway structure, as I'm pointing out right there, that's going to get up, up and down from that station. So in that front space that we're looking at, there will be some kind of stairway to go up and down from that. I also am thinking, in that center section I'm pointing out right now, after I mount this stairway in place here, I'm also thinking about putting an elevator right in that central point that I'm pointing out right now with my fist. And I want to mount a control tower above the second floor. So the thinking is that the elevator will actually take you from the first floor to the second floor and up to the control tower as well. So kind of a seamless, cohesive 1, 2, 3 style of going up and down. Plus it may help with eventually lighting everything up, as it'll provide me a way to put lights in there a little bit more seamlessly. Now this next section that I'm pointing out actually is going to represent kind of a transportation hub by the taxi stand doorway there. I want to have kind of a ticket counter, rental car counter, ticket hub for the monorail station, and potentially even buses. I just want to have an integrated hub right there in that space, and I think I've got enough room to do what I'm thinking. As we go along here, there's a lot of other stuff I also want to do in addition to that ticket hub space. Along there, I want to put some kind of little dining area, restaurant core of some kind where patrons can get food. I also want to have a general seating area or some kind of lounge. I think that would be pretty neat. Not sure exactly where things would be laid out, of course. I'm just really roughly thinking out. I do also need to have some kind of ticket counter area that's going to be next to where the baggage claim is that I'm pointing out right there. I do also actually have to have a true baggage claim where folks can come and pick up their bags after arrival. And I'm thinking that that part that I'm pointing out right there will be kind of walled off, and I'll have a section for the actual baggage claim, and then a section for the ticket counter itself for the airlines. So there'll be 2 stages to where that stuff is. There'll be a wall and then 2 separate areas. That's kind of where I'm thinking of going with it. Baggage claim first, where I'm pointing out right now, and then I think a little further down in view of the camera there will be the ticket agent counter for the actual airline itself. Don't know yet how it's going to look, but if that's the beauty of this, is, we're going to see how it comes out. The other thing I have to keep in mind too, as I'm going to point out here, is I do have to have some other way for figures to get up and down. And I have to have security checkpoint here as well. So in that other area that's toward the back, the corner of the frame here, I've got to have some kind of space for security checkpoint for folks to go up to the gates, or the gates I should say plural, and then a way for folks to come downstairs. I haven't worked all that stuff out yet, but I do want them to be separate configurations. And I think that's going to be interesting to try to do. I think I've got plenty of space to make this happen, but I think I want to fit a lot of detail in here. It's going to be a challenge, but I think it's going to be a really fun challenge. As I move my hands around, I'm talking, of course, off rhythm. It's kind of funny after the fact. But I think it can be done. This will be a very long process, again, as a reminder of that. And I will be changing things up kind of as I go. I certainly encourage folks to give me thoughts and comments and ideas. But again, this is something that I do as my hobby. I want to go with parts I have on hand ideally, and things that I just feel right about doing. So again, please feel free to leave thoughts and comments about suggestions and things I think I could do. I will certainly consider them. But again, this will be things that come to mind for me and what I also like as well. And so that's just my look at part one so far of this airport MOC that I've been building over the last week or so on my live streams. I did want to take a little bit of time here to go over where I am so far, as I know not everybody can make the streams, and I figured that folks would appreciate this. But as always, I do want to thank my subscribers in particular for watching. If you haven't, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Leave a comment or thought below. Again, I definitely appreciate everything. Take the time to read those and respond where I can. Hit that notification bell, all that good stuff. And as always, I just want to thank you for watching Brooks Bricks, and until next time, this is Matt saying see ya! Adios!